To the surprise of nobody, the Discovery Sport is Land Rover's fastest-selling model. Just how popular is it? Well, consider that more than 200,000 have rolled out of the firm's Halewood plant since it replaced the aging Freelander in 2014. That popularity is likely to now get a further boost with the introduction of Jaguar Land Rover's latest 4-cylinder Ingenium engines to the range, including two C4 petrol options of 237 bhp and 286 bhp, and a solitary SD4 diesel offering driven here. Equipped with a pair of sequential turbochargers, the SD4 promises pretty robust performance, developing 237 bhp and, more appreciably, a 367 pounds-foot slugger torque from 1,500 revolutions per minute. The lesser TD4 makes 177 bhp and 317 pounds-foot by comparison, though both models share a 9-speed automatic gearbox supplied by German firm ZF. This feeds power to all four wheels, with Land Rover's now familiar terrain response program optimizing the chassis for everything from motorway runs to sand dunes. As an aside, Land Rover will from now offer a front-wheel drive version of the Discovery Sport, a base-spec model badged pure, but only in 147 bhp ED4 diesel guise. The addition of these new Ingenium engines to the range also heralds an enlarged color palette, some new interior trim options and alterations to the seat foam, though the interior, with its lofty driving position, remains handsome in a workaday fashion. The SD4 is decently potent but not as refined as you might expect, with its rather gruff idle literally setting the tone for an engine note that's never what you'd call intrusive but is always present. Certainly, those hopping from the polished confines of an Audi Q5 2.0 TDI might raise an eyebrow, although anybody acclimatized to the corresponding power plant in the Nissan X-Trail would be pleasantly surprised. You could say, then, that this engine mirrors the Discovery Sport's status as a premium product guided by utilitarian principles. It is thirsty, though. Its combined fuel economy of 44.1 miles per gallon is bettered even by the considerably more powerful 3.0-litre TDI diesel of the Q5, which goes to show how far Land Rover has to go before its oil-burning engines match the best in the class. Given the Discovery Sport's otherwise strong capabilities as a long-distance family tourer, it's a little disappointing. Much the same can be said for the new C4 petrol engines, which, as you'd expect, are markedly more refined but fall down on fuel consumption. But what of that performance? A 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 7.1 seconds puts the new SD4 Discovery Sport on a level with warm hatches such as the Volkswagen Golf GTD, although it doesn't always feel particularly quick. Not that it should, of course, just don't be fooled into thinking all that torque is enough to make a 2-ton SUV feel sprightly. It isn't. Along with that bulk, the 9-speed automatic gearbox must also take some of the blame for the Discovery Sport's steady modus operandi. Okay, it juggled cogs with impressive ease while meandering along the Yorkshire Dales roads of our test drive. In fact, you barely notice as the rev counter's needle gently swoops up and down, smoothly keeping the engine in its sweet spot. But frustrations arise when you require a sudden burst of acceleration, not uncommon on undulating roads like these, thick with slow-moving farm traffic, because there's a lengthy delay before the transmission finds the most appropriate of its closely packed ratios. With the correct cog selected, the SD4 is forceful enough, but it just takes a while to get to that stage, and it's a characteristic that can leave you floundering on approach to roundabouts should you never actually come to a complete stop. Elsewhere, the Discovery Sport's ride remains impressive at a canter but suffers occasionally over more pronounced road imperfections. It's capable but a little rough around the edges, which, if you were feeling kind, you could once again say was in keeping with the car's designated personality.